Okay. Okay, so we're doing the tessellation lesson study. So we started off with our set. What we did, we welcomed, or Tara welcomed the students into the classroom as they came in, and then we began right into the tessellations using the website that we brought up in the little picture here. What we would change is we'd probably review the previous day and make connections to what we learned yesterday to what we learned today. Because we felt that Tara did a really good set, we just wanted to add in something a little extra there. Our development. So what we did do, we told students which shapes tessellate and asked them to come up with definition. After that, we did a discussion, and then we gave them the rules for tessellations. But what we would change is we'd make it more student-directed by allowing them to test multiple shapes and come to a common conclusion of what it means to tessellate. And then we would let students come up with their own wording for the rules for tessellation instead of just giving them their own definitions. So for our closure, what she did was had a discussion as a class of some examples of tessellations outside the classroom, and then of course we showed a few examples on the smartboard. What we would do to change this would be to use a think, pair, share instead of discussing as a class altogether, and then coming back and talking about what they thought. Also, something that's not on here is we could have had them actually go out into the schoolyard and see that the bricks tessellate and that kind of thing.
Okay, so for the assessment, what I did, it was mostly subjective, so just whatever they discussed, who was participating, things like that. And objective, I had them hand in a question from out of the textbook. So what I would change is I would do an exit slip instead with my essential question 1, which was, are there any triangles that will not tessellate, and are there any quadrilaterals, and for them to explain why or why not. So this gets all of the students involved, so checking if they all understand what it is, instead of just those few who are outgoing and want to put up their hand in class and answer. And the last one we did was language and movement. So what I did, I directed mostly from the front of the room, just basically in this front area, moved around a little bit, but not really going to the back of the class or walking through anyone. I apologize for the technical problems when I was having with the protractor, which I also had today. And I sometimes refer to students as guys or kids or not proper terms. So what we would change is I would move around a lot more. I didn't have to be at the smartboard the whole time. There was times like during the website where students were coming up and moving things around. I could have been walking around during that time while they were having discussions, especially if you're doing the think, pair, share. Walk around, make sure they're discussing what they're supposed to, being available to answer questions that they might have. And I would also watch how I address the students. Of course, maybe calling them students, using names, anything except guys. And that's the basis of our lesson study.